Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
It's going. It's Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday.
Monday's behind us, and some things to talk about.
And we actually had a wonderful Monday because we were in the Port of Cape Town and we were at Fresh Produce Terminals where we were interviewing Suhandra Conradi from the Summer Citrus Program, American Citrus Program, and that was fascinating and it was wonderful for us to see the beauty of the Cape Town harbour, not the mess, not the problems that are happening there. We saw the beauty of the harbour yesterday.
Yeah, so it's a good news story of how FPT is really supporting the deciduous season. I think they said that there's a ship coming every week now for the next foreseeable future, or is it 2 ships a week? It's something along that line.
I don't know the exact details, but I also saw the article that said they're the busiest that they've been in almost 20 years. So at least there's fruit getting out.
Yeah. And they also load a couple of containers at that place as well.
Yes, they do containers too.
Yeah. Quite interesting that they said that the loading containers, they can only load containers onto ships with their own cranes.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't send all your containers there right now because they might not be able to do anything with them.
It is a stipulation that they can only load, a stipulation of their lease agreement that they can only load onto ships that have their own cranes. So the crane arrives with the ship. There aren't cranes on the side of the dock to load. So that is it's a big impediment.
Yeah. Okay. So what's news? This morning, all the fruit industry bodies that we follow online have put out the video from the CEO of Transnet. I've seen this video on Friday already. It was sent to me. And this morning it was published everywhere. So I'm going to quickly play it. I'm not going to just add it on screen. This is on the SATI website. It's the first one I saw in my newsfeed now that I just clicked on. It's on the SATI website. And I can just play it briefly. So you'll find it on all of their social media platforms. It's basically that Transnet is supporting the fruit industry. They're doing everything in the power. The same story.
Good day. My name is Michelle Phillips. I am the Acting Group Chief Executive of Transnet SOC Limited. We are a state-owned company responsible for the rail, ports and pipelines network in South Africa. I wish to thank Fruit South Africa for providing the opportunity to deliver this message to you. As Transnet, we recognize the importance of the fruit industry for our economy. We all know that South African fruit is unmatched in quality and taste. And as the leader of Transnet, I wish to reaffirm our aim to ensure that our rail and ports can continue to support our fruit, which is best in the world with a world-class logistics network. Transnet acknowledges its key role in ensuring our South African fruit is delivered to various destinations across the globe reliably and on time. We are fully aware that the challenges experienced by Transnet in recent times have had an impact on your industry, but we do believe that with the plans we have already begun implementing, the situation will change for the better. In reflecting on the year that was, Transnet was able to perform considerably well in supporting the citrus export season in the Southern Hemisphere winter season. The Port of Cape Town has, however, been negatively impacted during the current Southern Hemisphere summer season due to extensive wind delays in addition to unreliable equipment. However, all is not lost. To address the equipment challenges, Cape Town Container Terminal has already started receiving 7 much-needed like-new rubber-tired gantries, which are currently in the process of being released to operations. 4 of these RTGs have already been deployed in the operations, and we are expecting the remaining 3 to be in the operations by no later than 10th February. Transnet has also implemented immediate recovery initiatives, including a 24-hour command center designed to improve operations, hiring of additional employees, and increasing training for our staff. Further equipment is in the process of being ordered, which will be delivered in the next 6 to 18 months. Transnet is earnestly engaging with our stakeholders, such as the shipping lines, who could assist in fast-tracking delivery of this.
Just on that note, the new equipment coming in the next 6 to 18 months. That's a big margin of error there.
Well, okay. So what is our comment on this? First of all, it's the first time in a long time that there's actually direct communication like this from Transnet. Transnet in the past didn't actually communicate like they're doing now. So let's see that as in a positive light. All of this stuff is happening, and thank goodness it's happening. But one also has to wonder if it isn't maybe a little bit too little and a little bit too late for a lot of people who are already sitting with deteriorating fruit in warehouses. So yes, that is my comment. Thank goodness they're doing something. But it would have been nice if they started doing this 2 months ago.
Or 6 months ago. Or 4 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's when the issue started.
Yeah, this has not been a surprise. It's been coming for 4 years.
Okay, so anything to do with ports and logistics, tomorrow morning we're going to have Mitchell Brook on again. We can be live with him, talking about Vision 260 and where things are standing, and he can maybe also add a little bit about this video. And but we'll get Mitchell to spill the beans. Anyway, so
yes.
Then on another note, we earlier was it last week? Last week we spoke about the fires that's been ravaging the Western Cape, and it is still ongoing.
Yeah.
Let me just get it here. Okay, so this was shared on my favorite weather page on Facebook, Landwater. Landwater shared this. This is a false color image taken of this is done by what is the satellite called? ESA. There's a couple of different satellites flying over various parts of the country at various times, and it takes various types of images, and you can also adjust layers. I've not played with it. I would love to. I don't know where it is. Anyway, so this is the extent of what the fires, what's been happening. This big piece over here, that is the fire that started. That's Vlei Dam. This burned down from all the way from Gouda, all along the mountains, past Woolsley, through Bainskloof. It is still burning in Bainskloof. Yesterday morning, there was an alert on the radio saying that you can use the pass, but at your own discretion. Then it went through all the way into Slanghoek, into the Slanghoek Valley, which is close by here. So you can see that's a massive, massive area that is burnt down. Closer to Cape Town, that looks like the Parelberg area, Paardeberg. There's also a big mark there. Currently, there was burning. This dam down here is the Kwaggaskloof Brandvlei Dam. There was a big fire in that area as well, which yesterday afternoon went into the Brandvlei prison complex. And it's actually damaged some of the housing infrastructure in that area. From what I've heard, it didn't burn inside the prison. For the people that don't know, if the prison burns, they have to open the gates. They must open the gates and let them run into the veld. So those with death sentences, they might be running the right direction. Yeah, so murderers, rapists, thieves, and thugs could be let go if the prison catches fire. From what I've heard,
that did not happen. Reiterate, that did not happen.
No,
it nearly did, but it didn't happen.
I've not heard anything like that. What I've heard is went into the staff housing complex in some places, and some photos were shared on some of the social channels. So now, just north of Brandvlei Dam over there, that is Worcester. That is where we live. So that big yellow-green part there, that's the Hex River Valley. And currently there's a fire on top of Matroosberg Mountain. that was caused by
Yes.
lightning. So that was not awesome. And that is burning at the moment, you said.
Yes, I live in the Hex River Valley, and at the moment we can hardly see the mountains because of the smoke. And there were some very spectacular, scary photos on social media last night. So the fires, it's a big thing, and it's still ongoing.
Yeah,
And it adds to the heat, which is ripening all the fruit faster. So those gantry cranes in the harbour, they better come fast.
Yeah, so the burn scar on this side is just above the vet as you go. That's the pass, the extra not the extra pass, the little pass that goes through the cutting into the Dorans. On the right hand side there, it burnt up against the mountain, the Ben Wheatley mountain. And the burn scars on this side is what happened last week above Fairy Glen, burning into the Odensberg Mountains and coming down the back. And it was very near to where we live, and some of farmers and friends in the area. So this was a scary one. But if you look at all of these, they were big. But compare that to that big burn scar, is massive.
It's also very interesting that satellite imaging, well, I suppose if you think about it, it's the first time I've ever seen a photograph of burn scars on a landscape. And it just, people have always spoken about, oh, the fire was big, it went from here to there, but here you can actually see it. So it's very interesting and very informative to see this.
Especially if you know the lie of the land.
Yeah.
Where it is. Now, he did post a photo a couple of days earlier pertaining to the same burn scars, but there was a lot of cloud cover. So you couldn't really see. This is like a photo that was taken as it is at that moment. So if there's cloud cover, the satellite can't see what's below it.
Yeah. Wow. It just shows you what, Western Cape is really, really taking the brunt of the fires at the moment.
Yeah. Last night he shared this photo. Lots of thunderstorms still happening over the eastern part of the country. And you can see the green that's through the Orange Free State and Gauteng, Limpopo, and Eastern Cape. It's very green at the moment there due to all the thunderstorms that's passed. And there's a very light cold front moving in towards the Cape that he says might bring some light rain to the Western Cape. So that's your weather report. Also, for those on Facebook, please go follow the Landwater page. It is fascinating and very informative. This was shared also last night. He posted thunderstorms. You can see big cells happening over Swaziland, Eswatini, Mbombela, Maputo, that area. And on the right-hand side, and also north of Namibia, on the right-hand side, that shows the lightning strikes. And you can see 0 to 5 minutes is white, 5 to 10 minutes is yellow, and so it progresses. So it's fascinating info. This I just love watching what they do.
Very interesting information.
Yes. So then the last thing we're going to share is from abroad. Okay. You care to take this one?
Yes. Efforts underway to delay the harvest of fruit and vegetables in Spain due to the ongoing road blockades. So it says agricultural protests continue in France, and much of the country remains affected. In Ile-de-France, also known as the Paris region, sections of all the roads, they mention all the highways, have been closed in both directions, as have some smaller roads. Blockades and slow marches are also occurring in other French cities, as well as road closures by local authorities. Meanwhile, the diversion of traffic to secondary roads may lead to congestion in other areas.
So they mention agricultural protests. This is not like what we know in South Africa as people striking. This is the actual farmers protesting.
Yeah.
Where you see those photos of them, hundreds of tractors on the highways, and them spraying compost into the government buildings and things like that.
So the French are really, really protesting, and they are. What the issues are that they're protesting, we're not 100% sure, but I think it's obviously got something to do with government legislations that they are introducing.
Carbon taxes, as far as I know.
Yes. And when the French, and this is not a new thing, when the French get angry with the government, especially the farmers, you know all about it. And then they are at it again in a big way. And this article is saying that the Spanish are actually keeping back vegetable exporters to the in the region of Murcia. I don't know if that's correctly pronounced, are keeping between 30 and 40% of their harvest in cold storage due to the road blockades in France. This blockade has resulted in delivery delays, which will translate into significant losses for the companies shipping perishable produce. So basically, the protesters in France, agricultural protesters in France, are having a negative knock-on effect to producers in Spain who are supplying cities in France with their produce. So, yeah, and then there's been the situation has also led to order cancellations, and transport vehicles have suffered damage from acts of vandalism. So there's a photo with this thing. I don't know if you could find it, but anyway, I saw a photo when we clicked on it, and it is of a pile of fruit cartons being burnt in a road. So this is happening in France. And, you know, we always think our country is so violent, but this is what's happening. And obviously the French really have an axe to grind with their government, and it's affecting people supplying.
The government has watch out for that axe. Last time that happened, they chopped off heads.
Yes, well, that's a couple of centuries ago, but there you go. And they said, let them eat cake. Let them eat cake. That's agricultural.
History does repeat itself, you know, in fashion and maybe in revolutions. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know, you feel sorry for the Spanish in this case, because you know they're just trying to get this stuff done. They're just trying to sell their product, and the French are saying no.
We feel sorry for the French as well. It was happening in Belgium. It was happening in Germany. It happened in the Netherlands 2 years ago. So it's got to do with taxes and subsidies, and I know the cost of diesel. I saw that somewhere. This article doesn't say what they're protesting, but they've obviously got an axe to grind. And I saw footage of them throwing manure into buildings. So they don't mess around. They make a mess messing around.
Yeah, they do. They do mess around, let's put it that way. Okay. Well, that's it for us for today. Thanks for listening. And it's always interesting. It's always interesting to see when other countries have problems similar to ours, especially when you aren't expecting it.
Yes.
So let's hope things start to move a bit faster in the port, and that these fires can come to an end.
Yeah, and don't forget about Mitchell Brook tomorrow morning.
Yes, we're super excited to hear what he has to say. Please join us.
All right. Have a good day.
Have a good one. Bye.
Cheerio. Bye.